Greetings and salutations. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew and ready for some downhill domination, if you know what I mean. Take that however you like, but the fact remains I have 5 more titles sure to be tenderized under scrutiny. If you like blowing up things, try my like button. And if you like the under-the-radar titles, try blipping that subscription bar to the on position while you tell your friends of the sights I have to show you. I swear I'm not a Cenobite, but I do have some chattering to do when it comes to unique, rare, and hidden gems, so enter my realm of pain and pleasure. But mostly pleasure. Let's advance the film. I am no one and I am everyone in this shape-shifting action RPG that redefines personality disorders into acceptable parameters. Released in the 4th quarter of 2023, we have a new hero, and although he's naked and melanin deficient, he's ready to champion global stability. From the publishers and developers who brought you Guacamelee, we have Drinkbox Studios at the helm, providing 15 plus distinct forms to change into while saving the globe. I mean, who does this guy think he is, Mystique? He definitely lacks the curves, but arguably not the ambition. Now, let's see how far a nobody can get in a review. In a time where it feels like no one is actually saving the world, we come upon a title that in fact tries to do the opposite. In a land filled with button mashing and repetition, variety is utilized in stylistic RPG game progression. When I say the game is iconic, I don't necessarily mean widely recognized, but rather makes good use of icons above your enemy's head to hint at which form you need to take that may break a shield attack or let you know when an affliction has been implemented. Also, similar to Assassin's Creed, you'll see level indicators to the left of your enemy's health bars that let you know if you'll be frappéd or not for initiating battle with them. Visually, the environments are stunningly similar to games like Cult of the Lamb, which gives off a playful, cartoonish vibe, and in my book, that spells Genius. I'm reminded of games like Trine or The Lost Vikings with the in-game character switch option that provides unique ability traits for dispatchment. As you complete objectives and gain stars through achievements to unlock story dungeons, you'll feel like a somebody who started off as a nobody. I'll give this one a 7.5 out of 10. The song Under Pressure may have been a worldwide hit, and although not rising to the status of infamy, Pressure Overdrive is a twin-stick driving shooter with high octane. Released July 26th of 2020 and limited to 1,700 copies, we have us a roadworthy contestant that doesn't slow down to smell the roses, but perhaps maybe the guns. The developer and publisher Chasing Carrots created a steam buggy-style, French-based racer consisting of 3 worlds with 30-plus levels. This isn't a sequel, rather an upgrade to the original Pressure game on PC and Mac. With 35 different upgrades to your love bug, it's like Herbie's Going Bananas all over again. The action is plentiful, and the jump-in-and-play model is well received, so buckle your glazed French le cool in and prepare to be wowed with a review. Being that all the water in this game was stolen by Baron Soap, I'm not sure where you get the steam for your buggy, but I'm not going to hold the story's feet to the fire when the story doesn't really mean murd here anyway. I'm talking good times when you pick up your aftermarket or Nintendo licensed controller and start kicking up some dirt since there's no water. Invoking Bernoulli's principle of fluid dynamics, you'll have higher water pressure but gain lower speeds with your buggy, so you must choose wisely and treat that water like it resides in the cup of Christ as you play. With over 35 items to upgrade your buggy, you can literally plow the brown earth beneath your wheels into blankets of dust that no eye drops can cure. I would have liked to see a little more content when it came to boss fights because the 3 it offers are fairly good, but a little few and far between. Despite that minor gripe, this game really sets out to appeal to kids or adults, and although it's simplistic in structure, I found it to be instantly entertaining. For that fact, I'm going to shoot it a 7.5 out of 10 and recommend it as a piece de resistance in your collection. Let's address the penguin in the room. I picked up this Japanese version in high hopes, and I do mean high, that it would contain English support for my playthrough. Boy, was I wrong. Now, the difference in price here is telling because this Japanese version without English support will run you around $40, whereas the North American version will set you back between $80 to $100. But do you really need to read your Arctic ass off? Not really. You can muddle, or should I say waddle, your way through without knowing the narrative, but if you do get the American version, you may get some laughs. Released November 12th of 2020 by developer NIS and published by NIS America, action is infused with platforming in a chilly ninja-esque fashion. Difficulty levels are amped up a bit, so understand the noise might prove to be too much for some, but let's see if this bird is the word. Butt bouncing and defying gravity. And I'm not talking about twerking. I'm talking about activating save points and a unique mechanic where hovering while attacking allows for some tactical advantages. As you slice and dice like Edward Scissorhands, you'll build a combo meter, which will in turn make your attacks stronger once it's maxed out. And don't forget your butt bounce stuns enemies or bosses also. I think I made life way too hard for myself not knowing that early on. If you do happen to get the Japanese version, just read the fireball orbs you find between levels, and if you can, you'll collect them. Okay, just buy the damn North American version, because this game is tough enough without knowing what anyone is saying. I'm sure I would have enjoyed it much more being able to read tips and funny dialogue. Graphically, it reminds me a little of Pocky and Rocky with a learning curve that may be a bit harder. I'm torn because the fact is it offers you two games that's awesome sauce, but this version stunts the affinity I could have had to it. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, with a nod to the 7.5 if you get the English support. I hate to rain on your parade, but if you don't own this, may lightning strike you down with extreme prejudice. I found another diamond in the rough, released in the fourth quarter of 2022, and my pareidolia has never been the same. It's refreshing like raindrops to a crop to see such a quirky and mischievous installment on the Switch. I'm reminded of games like Donut County, Untitled Goose Game, or Katamari, and I tend to group this one in that style of game. Developed by Unbound Creations and published by the same company along with Premium Edition, this Standard Edition had 2,900 physical copies, but the Enhanced Retro Edition has 500. This one is what I would call maybe a stealth puzzler with some villainy for good measure, and contains over 50 levels to best. I am in love with the Little Big Planet art style, and as you can probably already tell, I hold it in high praise. The clouds are rolling in, so let's extricate with a review. The official count is 2 games now that include an antagonist that flourishes on a lack of water. Dr. Dryspell being the title of this inglorious bastard that you as a cloud must soak down with humility. You'll face objectives seen and objectives unseen from stage to stage and need to complete the golden stars to move on across the town. Typically, there's a string of events or different mechanics that allow completion, but some are direct and obvious. No one liquid you drop from the sky is the same and provides variances in viscosity when completing certain objectives. Along with acid rain, oil, or snow comes the abilities to create lightning or tornadoes, which pretty much ruins everyone's day. I was surprised at the blatant nods to other game franchises and cinema, and it reminded me of me a little, so touche was uttered by me more than once. The minigames range from black holes to breakout, so even more fun to be had. The game should take around 4 hours to complete, and all abilities are reusable for another go-round, with added objectives to accomplish. I think it's safe to say this game earns an 8 out of 10 from me, and a high recommendation for those of you with a little naughty side. Why so serious? As the Joker might say, but far from it in tone. Limited to 3,000 copies, we unveil 3 titles on one cartridge from the days of Xbox, complete with the Legend of the Beast expansion for Part 2 and Jewel of the Nile expansion for Part 3. Published by Devolver Digital and Crow Team along with Alligator Pit on development, we get the first 2 encounters completely remastered with Part 3 added as a bonus I never even got to play until now. It's an overall blast fest for first-person shooter fans and a great package in the non-gayest of ways. It's truly a man's man game, void of any gay connotations. This has campaign, local co-op, and online multiplayer modes to put some starch in your drawers, so now let's take a very serious look at Sam's package and see if the bulge is prominent. What did you expect? It's a mature title, so I'm going to talk maturely, or immaturely, however you want to look at it. So here's the gutter talk. After the fly has been unzipped, we can see a great member of the gaming world rise to a level of greatness like it just popped a nitric oxide pill and opened up to page 19 on the December 53 issue of Playboy. Confirming Sam's serious stone, we can now move on. I was whisked away to 2001 through 2011 in straitjacket fashion because it held me captive to its Duke Nukem-style gameplay once again. The first encounter is dated for sure, but still provides a memorable FPS. When we get to the second encounter, your arsenal expands, as does the enemy threats. The world still feels the same, most likely due to the same engine being used as the first, and only the passage of a year between them. There are, however, many different creature types, and the pacing is amped up to 10. All 3 games lack gyro aiming, which simply uses motion sensors in your controller to translate the physical hand rotations into in-game hand movements. It's just better for precision. By the time we get to Part 3, 9 years later, this is when it gets serious. Less humor and more guts, more or less. Also, the engine had changed, so the graphics took a slight increase, but still felt like part of the franchise. For the content you receive, value, and the hours of mindless kabooms, I'm going to give this collection a 7.5 out of 10, but that's not in inches if your mind happens to still be in the gutter. FIN. We have finalized another volume of mid to great titles for those of you who want me to be more accurate in my claims. If you like my content, sure, subscribe or like by all means, but be on the lookout for the star icon option to hype my videos so I can obtain points within 7 days of their release. On your phone, scroll down to the comments section and then swipe right. You'll find it there. You can hype it as many times as you want, and if I see my videos are getting more views, I'll increase the value of my prize that I give away for Volume 10, so it's potentially in everyone's best interest. It has been my pleasure once again to produce content that hopefully not only gives you a good chuckle, but also informs my gaming audience of unique titles to sink some hours into. I'll see you all for Volume 9, and we'll talk some turkey. Cheers!